All right, pregame thoughts, Padres and the Cardinals. Obviously, at Busch Stadium, Mike Shildt returns. He and the Cardinals, it hurt Mike how they broke up there, or the Cardinals really broke up with him. I believe it was reported that he thought he was going to go into a meeting at the end of the 2021 season to get maybe a new contract because in his 3 full seasons with the Cardinals, they made the postseason in all of those 3 seasons. Lost in the wild card series, obviously, to the Padres in 2020. The year before that, won their division, made it to the NLCS, lost to the Nationals there. That was a really good Nationals team. 2021, make it to the wild card, finish second in their division, and then he's gone. That long winning streak to get them into the postseason, and he was gone. And the Padres, the Cardinals have not been that same team since. Sure, they won 93 games in 2022, but, and I'm not a Cardinals fan, obviously, I'm not in St. Louis. It just doesn't feel like it's been that same feel for the Cardinals, for probably that fan base since Mike Shildt left. I'm not so sure there were Cardinals fans that were like, oh yeah, this is a great move to be firing Mike Shildt. And so, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see Mike Shildt's comments. I feel like he's probably going to go the Jackson Merrill route here. And what I mean by that is, like, reflect maybe a little bit, but keep it about the Padres. Like, we're trying to win here. This is what matters the most. Sure, I'm coming back to St. Louis, but I'm the manager of the Padres now. I'm excited about this team. I have one heck of a team. We're trying to go win baseball games, and that doesn't change here just because it's in St. Louis. I feel like he's going to go with that there, but it should be interesting. The reception, I will be surprised if it's not positive. I think that he's going to get a standing ovation from Cardinals fans. That's something that fan base is very good about. I mean, with a lot of different players that have been parts, not even like World Series winners, but they've had good moments with the St. Louis Cardinals. They're given love when they return. So we'll see. Hopefully, the Padres obviously end up taking at least 3 out of 4 in this series. The Cardinals, they're trying to keep a spot fighting for a postseason spot. They're going to have to play good baseball the rest of the way, better than the other teams ahead, including the Padres, obviously, to try to get into the postseason. And they don't have Mike Shildt managing. And so they're probably not going to, I would not expect them to go on this huge winning streak. 17 games, 20 games. I think it was over 20, right? Long winning streak for the Cardinals there with Shildt a few years back. Probably not going to be happening this year. It's going to be an interesting series, Tommy Pham, he's on the St. Louis Cardinals. Let's remember that. Matt Carpenter, I believe, is on the Cardinals. But getting to the pitching matchup, Kyle Gibson and then Randy Vasquez, he is back for the Padres. It was a very short stay for Bacher. Hopefully I'm not botching that last name. But he was up yesterday, just sitting in the Padres bullpen. They didn't go to him. It's kind of like Matthew Batten was called up just in case, didn't get used. And he's back down with Vasquez making this outing. They sent him down, remember, and I don't believe he got hurt. Brito, I believe, was the one that got hurt in El Paso with the forearm stuff. And I think he still is on the IL. But they sent Vasquez down. It was because Musgrove came back, right? And obviously you're going to send Vasquez down in favor of Musgrove. I wonder if maybe the timing was a little bit different. Would Vasquez... Well, no, he wouldn't because Perez is still on the roster. If Martin Perez wasn't acquired, then Vasquez would have still been on the roster, even with Musgrove coming back, I assume. The way Waldron was pitching. So maybe this is going to be Vasquez's last start of the season. Maybe not. Maybe he'll play some other role other than starting down the stretch. We'll see. But he's been able to keep the Padres in games in some outings. Some outings haven't been that great, but he's been efficient in some other outings. He's been able to pitch to contact in some outings, and get outs, keep that pitch count lower. He's been able to get out of some really tough situations at times. So we'll see. Goldie and Arenado, that's the good thing, is they're not having great seasons. But there's other guys on this Cardinals team to watch out for. And I'll go through the lineups here today. Mason Wynn is definitely one of those guys to look out for. You know, Goldie and Arenado, I'm not saying you don't look out for him, but I think all I have to say is look at where Goldschmidt's hitting in the order. He's hitting 7th. Paul Goldschmidt. So that I think that tells you all you need to know there. Matt Carpenter, he is DHing. He has a higher OPS than Paul Goldschmidt does. That's crazy. So yeah, Wynn, Burleson, Arenado, Nootbaar, Herrera, Donovan, Goldie, Carpenter, and then Scott. For the Padres, Ariza's DHing, then Profar, Cronenworth, Machado, Bogarts, Merrill, Peralta, Higgy, and McCoy. For those that say, well, why not move Merrill up in the order? I feel like it's because, hey, the Padres are winning, so Shilt's not going to be changing a whole lot. And really, Crony, he has been hitting the ball hard. Manny, he's back. Profar, I mean, I put out this tweet earlier today, and I did want to mention it because Profar deserves that love. I know Merrill's getting a lot of love because he had the walk-off yesterday, but I want to give more love on Jurickson. With runners in scoring position this year, he has a 355 average, a 1,031 OPS. With men on base, he's hitting 325 with a 982 OPS. With late and close situations, 444 average, 1434 OPS. High leverage, he is hitting 417 with a 1342 OPS. Talk about valuable to a team, MVP. He should be getting top 10 MVP votes. He should. That's not a biased take by me. It is. It is a take that I think should be made by those on MLB Network. It's not a, oh my gosh, you're biased, Ben, for doing this. No. Merrill, I think you have an argument for top 10 MVP as well. I don't know if Skeens would do that, would get that because of the innings limit. He's probably going to get shut down at some point. But obviously, there's guys like Ohtani and Lindor that will get top 10 MVP votes, I would imagine. Profar should not be forgotten in the top. I'm not saying he's going to go win the MVP. I'm just saying, well, one, he should win comeback player of the year. And then two, he should get top 10 MVP votes, no doubt. And so, top of the order, who are you going to take off in favor of Merrill? Maybe you have, would you move Arise down and put Merrill leading off? But then you'd have Arise like 6. I think they like where they have Jackson Merrill, and they're just not going to mess with that. Bogarts he has a high average since coming back from the IL. I know it's not a lot of power, but if you have guys on base in front of him, which there's guys that definitely have the talent to do that, and they have been on base, that creates more run driving in opportunities for Xander. And Higgy's the catcher I want to go with when it matters the most over Campy right now. Peralta, while Tatis is out, yep, you have him in right, and then Mason McCoy. Either one, him or Tyler Wade, really. I don't have like a huge preference leaning one way or the other, but I mean, I like this lineup. And then the Padres bullpen situation, at least guys that are going on back-to-back days, it's in a good spot. I'll bring it up for you right now here. So Suarez threw 8 pitches yesterday. He's good. Scott 19, Adams 17, Hoeing 21, and Estrada 12. I don't think that they're like, we got to stay away from one of those guys today because they can go back-to-back days. If they do go back-to-back, then they probably wouldn't go tomorrow. So just keep that in mind. With Randy Vasquez on the mound, who knows how long he's going to go. So maybe we see Sean Reynolds come in after Randy Vasquez. Maybe you see Yuki Matsui, in the 5th inning or something like that. But yeah, that's what I've got. My Underdog Fantasy pick, by the way, Randy Vasquez, 3 strikeouts higher. That seems low. Although we don't totally know how long he's going to be going, right? It's not Cease, it's not Musgrove, who, went 7 innings the other day on a 75 pitch count there. It's not Michael King, who's going 6 innings pretty consistently. It's a little bit different. So that's what I've got. Padres, Cardinals, Mike Shildt back in St. Louis. If they, I don't know about a tribute video, but if they don't give him a standing ovation, I'll be disappointed actually in Cardinals fans, and I will be very surprised.